Kapha types. Kapha types are made from water and the earth elements, the two, the densest and the most material oriented elements. When they come together, they create a personality which is sturdy and very reliable. So the Kapha types, their body build is more bulky. So the bone frame, their muscle frame, the joints, everything is a little extra, and they feel more robust in their makeup. Because of these two elements coming together, Kapha people tend to be very methodical, somewhat sluggish, at times tend to procrastinate things, take it very easy. So they're like a laid back personality. But the water and earth, when they come together, that will make a Kapha person attached to things, like attached to food, attached to people, and attached to activity that they repeatedly do over and over again and never get bored. When it comes to the lifespan, Kaphas have the longest lifespan. All their tissue structure is built with a lot of density, lot of stability. So Kapha people have a body that is built to last. At the same time, if they don't take care of it, if they don't move this body, because movement is very boring for them, they like always a coziness. And if they don't move the body and resort to more and more coziness and more stable states, then they stagnate and things can build up in their bodies, like the lymph cannot flow properly, and their bodies tend to accumulate fluid. Kaphas can perform long standing activity. So because they have so much of endurance in them, they can, if you let them do a certain work, they do it with precision, and also they do it repeatedly with a lot of patience. Patience and Kapha types go together. And this is the reason why Kaphas have friends who last forever. They have no issues in keeping a friendship going, and also they can recollect everything. That's because their memory is so like elephant like. They can remember everything. So they remember all the childhood activities that happened with their friends. So they go back to this and they become this a person who draws all the group together. But they lack leadership quality because they don't have firmness. They're very jello-like, very soft. And when that happens, if they take a firm decision, they're not able to hold on to it. Or if they take a firm decision, they become stubborn. They can't move on. So both of them are negative traits of this Kapha personality. Kaphas can do a long exercise. They can be on treadmill for 40 minutes and they hardly sweat because this earth and water needs a lot of heat to produce some sweating. But once they start sweating, they sweat profusely. So Kaphas are slow to start but very high in giving out all their sweat. So their skin tends to be very normal, not much of perspiration, not much of dryness. So the normal skin is the trait of Kaphas. Kaphas' appetite, though small but very particular. So they can eat one thing over and over and over again because they're attached to it. So that's why we say that Kaphas should never get into a habit of eating sweet food or salty food. If they become addicted to them, they will never come out of it. For that matter, any food that is pleasing to them will become their favorite food, and it is 24/7 food. Sleep-wise, Kaphas love sleeping. There's no time that goes wasted without sleeping. Either they are on the couch, if you call somebody, or if you're a Kapha type, if you go to somebody's house, you don't look for a hard chair, you look for a couch, a love couch, where you can lie down, recline yourself, and then try to take the pleasure of stabilizing yourself in this peaceful fashion. So Kaphas tend to make friends, they don't break friendship, and they tend to have a laid back personality. So everybody likes Kapha people. But the Kapha people who are not balanced, they can be really housebound, inertic, not able to move along. And same thing, like everything needs to be tomorrow, day after tomorrow. So this postponement becomes the Kapha's very negative trait. Kaphas, if they take a task, they're very detail oriented, and they take their own sweet time to finish each section. And basically they are into creating like watches or small tiny apparatus which keep on taking same amount of effort and needs detail. So Kapha people tend to be detail oriented, but at the same time, if they don't move on, they will be stuck in doing the same thing, and their detail can become detrimental to their own growth and development. Bowel movements. Kaphas have the best bowel movements. They have well-formed bowel, sometimes once a day, sometimes once in 2 days, but it's well lubricated. But the problem is, if they don't take care of their gut, then their gut can slow down and become heavy, and they start gaining weight. So the weight can be all over the body. Unlike Vata, which is distributed in certain parts of the body, but Kaphas tend to have weight right from their face to the throat. Everything gets more and more abundance because fat tissue and Kapha are made from same elements, that is earth and water, common to both of them. As I said earlier, memory is something that Kapha are built to have. But they can also remember bad things. They can remember sad things forever too. So Kaphas, when they need to balance themselves, they have to clear the backlog of their negative memories. And Ayurveda clearly says that these people have willpower, but this willpower is fixated onto things, but not universal willpower. They only do things that they think they're comfortable with, and they are very willing to do it. And when it comes to intellect, Kapha people are intellectual, but their intellect cannot flow. It's just fixed onto something and it has a difficulty flowing. So intellect that needs to be made to move on is something that Kapha people have to work. Kaphas have a poor respiratory system. Their congestion is what bothers them. So if they don't take care of their digestive abilities and overeat, they tend to have a lot of mucus and phlegm that comes into their sinuses, throat, nasal passages, and even chest, where it makes them difficult to have a good lung expansion. Finances. When it comes to finances, Kaphas have a good way to maintain their finances, but they like steadiness in their finance. So they don't over anticipate, they're not over ambitious in earning, but whatever they get, they want to make sure it is secure and it is steady. Seldom that Kapha people get to dream because their sleep is so important to them. Nobody can disturb them. So they very rarely dream about things. But if they dream, they remember very clearly every aspect of that entire dream, mostly relating to the water, mostly relating to the fluids that are abundant in them. When it comes to their sexual orientation and sexual interests, Kaphas, even though they have a good endurance, but they have no interest. So they tend to have a lot of kids if they have good partners, but they also have that dislike to move their bodies even for the act of intercourse. So these people tend to preserve everything, whatever it takes, but they have a lot of good shukra dhatu, that means the tissue that's responsible for reproduction is abundant in them. What I want to say is, if you are a good hugger and hug like a bear, you are Kapha. As far as the nails, hairs, and eyes are concerned, Kaphas have the most lubricated eye that is big, looks beautiful, but also they have a lot of secretion sometimes if they don't take care of their eyes. Dense hair, thick nails, or something that is a blessing for Kapha types.